We overcomplicate the business of real estate, and it really starts with a mindset of how you look at the world. Real estate's a people business, and our strength is our people. Our job is to help our folks fulfill their vision. It takes huge amounts of courage to face ourselves, and that's the biggest challenge I think we all face. I grew up on the east side of Bay City. Our family was kind of big and loud, and all my brothers and sisters were brown, dark brown haired. Being the fifth kid, I come out with red curly hair, and my mom and dad named me Badger. So I kind of stood out in that regard. We moved to Midland right before my sophomore year in 1978. That was just a huge traumatic experience for me because I left my roots, my heritage, all my buddies, and had to kind of craft a new life over in Midland. College was this thing that was kind of out there. I never heard it talked about in the house. My mom and dad are just, looking back, they're probably just trying to survive and raise a family. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to finish college in 4 years and I'm going away. Went away to school, went to Albion, and I had a great experience with a little bit of football and a lot of track, and met my wife. But then I had no guidance coming out of college, no family conversations, didn't really have a mentor or guidance into that next phase of life. I was kind of just the leaf in the wind, and that's when the troubles began. I first got into real estate back in 1987. It was kind of an act of desperation. I was a financial advisor, really didn't like it at all, and a lot of my spare time was spent reading about real estate, I guess maybe dreaming about real estate. And so I took over about 2,500 square feet of office space in downtown Midland and renovated that, sublet it out, and that kind of threw me into real estate. Julie and I got married and we could hardly make ends meet. Bill collectors calling, and not really knowing what to do. I bounced around for a few years in property management and eventually got into sales because I had to. Probably wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I knew how to work and I was honest. And so I just worked. I used to have 60 hours a weekend by Wednesday or Thursday, and then I was working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So came a point where finally we dug ourselves out of that hole, but I still really didn't know who I was. Back in probably the summer of 1990, I was playing paddleball with Jim Air. One Saturday morning, he pulled me aside on the paddleball court and just said, "Hey Badger, if you're ever interested in making a move in your career, we'd love to have an opportunity to chat with you and make a spot for you." And at that time, I told Jim, "Hey Jim, I really appreciate it, but I really think it's up to me, I can make it anywhere." I really thought back then that companies didn't matter and it was really up to me. So anyhow, about 6 months later, a series of events happened at the other company that were just not really kosher, and I called Jim Air up at about 10 o'clock at night. He said, "Talk to Linda." I called Linda Owen, who just became the managing broker in Midland. So it was about 2 weeks after Linda's and my conversation that I joined Air Reinhardt. A major turning point for me was in 1996, 10 years after I originally got started in real estate. I was heading out of town to go away on a 2-day business planning retreat by myself. I'll never forget it. I was pulling out of the parking lot, and Linda across the parking lot yells at me. She flags me down. She handed me an audio cassette from a speaker at the Michigan Association of Realtors, and she said, "I heard this guy speak at the convention, and I thought you'd really enjoy it." Little did I know, but that audio cassette changed my life. It was Dr. Fred Gross, who's a rabbi psychologist. It was the drug I needed. I listened to it twice on the way up to Wellston. I listened to it probably another 5 times that weekend. We got back, faxed an application, put it all on a credit card, and signed up to be coached and mentored by Dr. Fred with other high-producing realtors from around the United States. Before I got the audio cassette, I was working a lot, probably drinking a lot. I didn't know who I was anymore. I was totally numb. I had such a major transformation at the conference. I think it was my second conference, being in a room of people that were intimately connected. And then I was stressed out. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I had the one-on-one right after that session. I'm still a stressed out mess, and he just asked me some questions to feel my body. Where do I feel the stress at, and so on and so forth. And a lot of it was around intimacy and human connection and just feeling again. Literally over about a 10-second period, the stress just left my body. And it was profound. And for the next 9 or 10 days, I felt like I was just not touching the ground. Business just started walking in the door. It was just manifesting. You know, my journey started in 1962, really, right? But my professional journey and my adult kind of wise person journey started in the spring of 1997 with Dr. Fred and learning how to feel again. That was the beginning of a whole journey of doing real estate with different priorities. It was like I went back to my childhood and just was, I don't want to say uninhibited, but just connected. If you're more attached to your soul, more connected with who you truly are, you will accidentally do more business. And that's what happened to me. The thing that's most important to me personally right now is watching another agent develop and grow and build a successful business for them. And part of why I opened up Air Reinhardt Bay is I don't want to see other people go through the same things I went through. When I was a high producer, I was doing really high volumes of business, and the biggest dilemma I had was a sense of being alone. I was a big believer in the rugged individualist. I'll tough it out and I'll get through it all. And that's just not the way to go through life. And one of the things that we want our folks to do is have a team and a family around them so they're not alone. And you have somebody to call, you have somebody to lean on, you have a shoulder to cry on when it gets really rough. You know, I worked hard, I did a lot of the right things, but every key transformation in my life or big success was because of conversations with people I loved and respected through the years and took me to another level, and I couldn't have done that alone. In Bay City, Midland, we're just looking for good folks that are real. We really try to make it easy to get started in a very difficult business. It's the one-on-one attention and training. If there's a problem, there's somebody in the hallway to help you out. There's 3 brokers that are a phone call away if they're not on site, which we're usually on site. The culture of the company is our #1 asset, and that's the #1 focus for Jim, Melissa, and myself. And it's like a big family. I mean, we're not truly family, but we're the next best thing. You know, there's issues in families and we address them and get on with it and all love each other and we keep going forward. You know, we take it seriously. People in the company have been through a lot of hard times. We try our best to support each other and help each other out. And it never ends. So if you're looking to build a successful real estate career and would like to take advantage of the top-rated virtual training platform as well as Air Reinhardt Bay's in-house training, and if you believe having 2 full-time managing brokers on staff to help guide you through your career and answer questions and dilemmas you have as you go along would be helpful, as well as crafting a unique real estate career that's congruent with your heart and your soul, then please give Air Reinhardt Bay a call. Feel free to give myself, Badger Beal, Jim Diedrich, or Melissa Becker a call, and we'd love to have an opportunity to sit down and talk.